Good morning, everyone. This is Saravanan. So, I would like to share details about the Ajax concepts. So, I hope you know well, Ajax is a very nice concept. It should be used highly for creating a dynamic web page. So, nowadays, most of the web obligations make having a join with an Ajax concepts. Here, there are content searching and the part updations, a part of page updations, so happening through Ajax concepts. So in Ajax concepts, we don't want to reload the entire page of the website. We just have to reload a part of the web page, which is having a good join with the Ajax concepts. So I feel so happy to share this concept with you. So yeah, so welcome to one and all. The good day is Ajax. Ajax is actually having an expansion like asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So, in old days, the traditional web pages, whatever we are need, we have to type the content in the Google text box, and meanwhile, we have to click the Google search. That will going to doing the searching activity in the search engine, and how to fetch some related links and show us. This is what happened in the traditional cases, but now it's not like that. So the traditional cases, whatever we are searching, is going to display as the hundreds of links. Nowadays, whatever we are typing, it going to give us the n number of search text. The traditional days, whatever we text we are giving, the relevant links, more than number of links only is coming to display for us. But nowadays, whatever we are typing for searching, the typing text related text is coming that scroll down window. It's a happened because of the one and only Ajax concept. So the magic spell behind this is nothing other than that is Ajax. So what is Ajax? Is a programming language? It's not. Is a new technology? We can't able to say exactly it is correct. So what else Ajax is? It is a methodology on using several web technologies together in effort to close the gap between usability and interactivity of desktop applications and ever demanding the web application. The order of development of an Ajax happened like, first of all, Internet Explorer, they introduces the concept of iframe element 1996. Is a technique that helped to loading the content of a web page internal. The year 1998, the Microsoft they introduces another techniques is called Microsoft Remote Scripting as a replacement for the older technique, is the traditional technique what we are used previously. So the year later, 1999, the Microsoft they introduces the object, just nothing but XML HTTP request is a ActiveX control based objects is joined with an IE5. So the term Ajax is coined in the February 2005 by Jesse James Garrett. In the short essay is published a few days after Google they released its Google Map application. Finally, in the year 2006, the World Wide Web Consortium, they announces the release of first draft, which includes the specification for the object XHR, and it makes it an official web standard for creating a dynamic web pages. So why Ajax is important in web applications? Ajax, they enable a much better user experience for the website and applications. The developer can now provide a user interface that are nearly as responsive and rich as more traditional Windows Forms applications while taking advantage of web's innate ease of deployment and heterogeneous cross-platform in nature. These benefits have been shown to dramatically reduce the software maintenance cost and increases its reach in the globe. You can use the Ajax to load a specific portion of the page that need to be changed in the website. It further, it reduces the network traffic dramatically. So what are all the components which is coming through available in Ajax is not other than that HTML and CSS for creating and presentation of the web pages, JavaScript for local processing, and document object model to access data inside the page or to access elements of XML file on the server. And XML HTTP request object, this to read and send the data to your server asynchronously. So the process cycle of Ajax, how it is happening. So that's we have to see one by one. So first of all, we're using a JavaScript, an instance of XML HTTP request object is going to create. And then that HTTP request is then sent to the server. So through the internet, that particular request and it going to reach the server like an HTTP request. So they have to process by the server. The response is created and returned as an XML data to the client. The client, they process the returned XML document by using a JavaScript and update the part of the page content instead of reloading the entire web page. There are some objects are available in the XML HTTP request object. That is, we have to see one by one. First of all, on ready state change. On ready state change is a property of XHR. It's to hold the name of the event handler that should be called when the value of the ready state property is get changes. And there is a ready state property as it's going to hold the state of the request. And there is a response body, response stream, response text, and response XML. These are all the different types of variety of properties is used for receiving the content from the server. There is a status and status text. This should be used to hold the HTTP status code and to return by the request. And it also going to having the status text also. There are some chunks of methods are available in the XML HTTP request objects, which are nothing but abort, get all response headers, get response header, open, send, and send request header. These are all the predefined functions. They should be having some activities like abort the HTTP request, get all the HTTP headers like. So there is an ready state property and its corresponding predefined state values are available here. It's like a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the state ready state value is 0 is an uninitialized state. If it is a 1, it is in loading. When the state is 2, it is loaded. When it is 3, it is an interactive, it's ready for interactive. And when it is 4, it is complete. Like in the same, there are some constants relevant to the status are available that we're going to identify about the status of the HTTP request. So the status code like a 200, it is like a okay, fine. And if it is a 400, it is a bad request. If it is 404, it's identify file not found error. If it is 500, it is an internal server error. If it is 505, is a HTTP version, it's not supported status code. So let's get to some work relevant to the Ajax now. Here's an example for an Ajax. So we have to write the Ajax related code inside of the script language, script tag within the header tag. So first of all, here as we have to create an objects for an XML HTTP request object. So by using that XML HTTP request object, as we have to check whether it is going to support the Windows or not. If it support the Windows, then it going to create XML HTTP request object by using an XML HTTP request. Unless otherwise by using the ActiveX object to create the same. And then as we have to check that object is created fine or not. If it is created fine, then as we have to call on ready state change property. This is going to monitor the ready state activities in well. When the ready state activity is get some modification or changes, some internal function is going to trigger, and that will going to check about the ready state and status codes. The ready state code is 4 and status code is 200. Yeah, it's happening of some activities and it is get ready. It's fine to share the details like. Then the client is going to get ready to receive the response coming from the server. So for that is using the object of XML HTTP request to call the response, and it is coming like a text means by using a response text. It's coming like an XML means it's use the response XML and so forth. And that received text is going to feed into an a particular tag elements that by using get element by ID DOM property, and that received text content is feed into the inner HTML of the particular tag element for its display. So this should be checked frequently. Okay, and yeah, we should be having and making connections with the button. When we are clicking the button, it's as going to call a function. It's like a get data is a function of JavaScript. They should be having all the details about the particular Ajax. So when we are clicking the button, that will going to trigger the function, and it's going to check about the status of that Ajax activity, and the file content is get changed. That will going to receive to updated in the web page a part of the location, not it's going to reload the entire part of the web page. Instead, it's going to update a particular part of the web page. So it's happening like this. So there is a display message button. When we are clicking that particular button, as it's going to happening, it's going to displaying and particular output like in an efficient manner like this. Suppose we have to create Ajax. Instead of we are going to clicking the button, we are going to set the event handler as a mouse over. So when we are going to move our mouse pointer over a particular border, that mouse over is going to get triggered, and then it as it going to and then it's going to display, or it's going to check the content, whether the file is get changed or not. If some changes are happening, then that particular content changes are going is fetched to update in this particular page. So happening of mouse over, it's made like this. So we are going to create an image, and that image as we have to set on mouse over event handler. So mouse over is happening as it's going to call that particular JavaScript function. So inside the JavaScript function, so this particular Ajax related activities are going to happening. So it's happen like this, that output is coming like this. So it not going to reload the entire page of the web page, instead as it going to reload a particular part of the web page. So that coding part is done right now. So what's next? So we have to analyze or discussed about the advantages and disadvantages of an Ajax concept. So what are the benefits of using an Ajax? Means it's helps to build a fast and dynamic website, as it's going to improve the sharing of resources with other people's. Ajax is allowed to perform processing in client computer with the data taken from the server, thereby reduce the server load by moving a part of server functionality to the client side. Ajax can selectively modify a part of the page just displayed by the browser, and it update it without need to reload the whole document of all images, menus, multimedias, everything. So whatever it's maybe there should be having some drawbacks. So this Ajax also having some drawback, like JavaScript is not activated. So Ajax cannot work in this particular browser location. Since data to display are loaded dynamically, so they are not part of the page, and the keywords inside are not viewed by a search engines. So in happening in asynchronous mode, this may change the page with a delay. So this may be an disturbing activity. So we try to load, but it's going to happening a few minutes after, means it's going to disturbing as process. So the back button may be deactivated here, so it's not get work well. So I hope I have introduced or identified the important concepts, important parts of Ajax to you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you understand this. So thank you.